Hello, 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 hello. Happy Thursday. It's been a minute since we've been live, right? Or at least here with Speaking of Curves. As you're tuning in, I want you to say hello, join us. I'm Marie Dene. I'm the creator of The Curvy Fashionista, and we're back with another Speaking of Curves. This series was created to learn how to show support to our fellow indies, our small business owners, designers, creatives, especially through the Rona, because like businesses are hurting, right? And so I wanted to make sure that our indies actually were here after Rona, right? And so I wanted you guys to get to meet the designers behind the brands, the business owners behind the boutiques and lines. So with all of that being said, we have a very special guest today. I'm really excited because I mean, most of us during this whole Rona have been relaxing, have been at home. Our whole I only get dressed up once a week, and that's to talk with y'all. Like, usually I'm in my sweats ish. I may or may not have a scarf on my head. So, this is my one day to play around. And so, this particular indie that we're bringing on today is about to launch their collection, is giving us something that we don't have I want to say too much of, and we can always use, right? I also want to say a shout out to Eloquy and Melissa Mercedes and Courtney Noel and Ashante of Christian Omashoon. If you guys got a chance to tune in this past Sunday, we went live for our live stream the Cultivate Awards, and we announced our winner. So make sure you go back and check that out after you get done here. That was really exciting. I was really nervous and excited all at the same time. But we have, hello, Miss Alana. Please let us know where you're tuning in from, right? Let us know where you're tuning in from, if this is your first time or your 20th time. I want to say hey. And now, without further ado, I want to introduce to you our special guest, Miss Marina Hayes of Peridot Robes. Hello, Marina.
Hi, Marie. Thank you so much. Good morning. It's morning in Los Angeles.
It's still morning. Well, I guess it's afternoonish now, right? We're a little bit afternoon. So I want you to tell everyone what it is that you do and what is Peridot Robes, because obviously you're in a robe, and I'm
in a robe. Yeah. I almost never am not in a robe these days, to be honest. Really? I contemplated wearing a robe to the dog park the other day. That's the level of comfort I'm in, and unwillingness to get out of that level of comfort. So
hey, I'm here for it. So
I'm a luxury plus size bathrobe company. We're launching in May. Hopefully not June, hopefully May. And but you never know. Miss Rona has other plans for us sometimes.
Listen, man plans and God laughs.
Yeah, exactly. This came about because I'm a size 28-30. I couldn't find robes in my size that weren't terrible. Like the worst fabrics, disrespectful fits, to be honest, kimono sleeves, that are just ridiculous. And I thought we could do better. So I had a robe custom made for myself from a friend of mine who's a costume designer. And every time my friends are all fat like me, would come up, and all of them. Most of them. Every time they came over to my house, they'd be like, "Oh, can I wear your robe?" And I was like, "Why don't people have their own robe? We can do better than this,
Right.
So that's how it came about, and it is so much better than I ever imagined it could be. It's been fantastic. It's been really thrilling.
So for those of you guys who don't know and don't realize, because she didn't mention it, Peridot Robes is a luxury robe company that caters up through a size 40.
Yes.
Okay, a size 40. So if you've been looking for a robe that you can lounge around, that gives you full functionality, that gives you comfort, no longer wondering if it's going barely fit, or or the tie is actually going to be long enough. She's launching her company a little bit later this month. We're going to claim that for you, honey. A little bit later this month. And with that being said, we have Jen. Hey, Jen. Hi, baby. We
Literally could not have done it without Jen.
And then we have Alana was like, I'm in Wisconsin here being a fan of Marina.
Aw, love, I love you.
And we got Annette from Mexico. We've got Regina. Hello, darling. So people are in here. They're joining us. And we're talking with Miss Marina of Peridot Robes, a new upcoming luxury robe company just for plus size people up through a size 40.
Yeah, we go 14 to 40. We're not going to turn down anyone on the further end of the spectrum, by the way. If you are more than a size 40, let me know. I will get you a robe. Everyone, if you're below a size 14, I really don't want to hear from you. You guys have your own robes. It's a crowded market. Go to Macy's. Don't get in my inbox. But above a size 40, I would love to hear from you. I really accessibility for everybody. Like everybody deserves this level of comfort. Everybody deserves this luxury fabric. Everybody deserves this fit, and that was the driving force behind all this. Because as you know, size 28, 30, I was pushed out. Like, you know, I don't fit in a 3X. You know, especially the way they cut 3Xs. My sleeve would fit in that, you know, because all the armholes were down to, you know, down to there. But, you know, I have that V underneath your belly button where it's that covering down there. So, yeah, that was kind of the driving force. We have so many things in the work coming up. We're going to be making big, tall robes for men in the winter release. I also
will they match? Will they match? Like, can it be matching? Like, couple?
They will be matchy. They can be matchy. Yes. One of our robes, the bear, was originally designed to be more of a unisex kind of mask styled robe. But what I found out during the fittings and during the design process was sometimes when you try to accommodate everybody, nobody gets accommodated, you know? And so rather than having men look weird and other people look frumpy and all that kind of stuff, the fit is so important to me, you know, because for me I'm disabled, it's a safety issue. I know this sounds dramatic. I have literally I have set myself on fire wearing poorly fitted robes. Like cooking something in the morning, the sleeve is so ridiculously huge, it has caught on fire. Not once, Marie, twice. It's happened.
Oh my gosh. And people don't think about it, especially like from a disability place, from an accessibility place. And so, you know, when we think about it, like everyone wants a good robe or needs a good robe or two or three. Like I have like hooks of different types of robes, and some of them I won't ever wear because they get that like opening part that you're talking about. And sometimes you want to be all the way wrapped up and cocooned in a luxury robe. And so when it comes to, so there's a couple of comments, like we actually have Renee asking, wow, do y'all have the flowy widow style? The widow.
Yes, I do. Our most dramatic, like husband died under mysterious circumstances robe, that is the peach. They come in 3 colors. We have a classic black. We have a beautiful hunter green. It's like an Ivy League green. It's like a super classy money green, you know? And then we also have it in like this mauve color. They call it marsala. It's not really marsala. It's like a nice kind of dusty rose color. Yes, and it has a train in the back. It flows as you walk. It like, whoo, whoo, whoo. If you go on our Instagram page, you'll see videos of someone walking in it. It's beautiful.
So
flared hips, we love it.
So real quick, I just dropped the URL because you haven't launched yet, so you can sign up to be notified right when she launches, so you don't miss out. And let's see, because there's a lot of comments. People are very curious about these robes.
I'm here for all the comments. Ask me all the questions.
So we have Shalimar Price asking, hey, from Missouri, looking forward to the robes. Great for a Zoom meeting.
This is the Kush Robe. This is kind of I'm a cannabis activist as well. So this is like my stoner robe / mama robe. This came from inspiration. When I was a little girl, my aunt had a lot of bathrobes. And she had like a big plush terry cloth one and a silky, like kind of sexy one. I used to see them in her closet and I was like, I was so fascinated by her robes. And she still has all those robes. I'm 37. She's had them for over 30 years.
I love it.
And they're still going because that's how things used to be made. You know, we are so anti-fast fashion. These were built to be forever. These are the things you're going to grab every single day. This is your comfort. This is your most, and it's flattering. It's not unflattering. I could stand up. Do you want me to stand up?
Now, well, what's the question to you? Because as tall girls, like, you know, I want the dramatic floor sweeping effect. Well, I'm not a real tall. I'm a medium tall. So I'm 5'8". So I'm like medium,
okay.
right?
I'm 5'10" and a half.
Okay.
So these were all made to fit me, but also I have a lot of friends who are petite, and we wanted to accommodate them as well. So we have 3 robes in the line. The peach is the dramatic one, the big flare, you know, the big flared one, the one with the train. That is cut with kind of a little bit of an opening at the front, so that shorter people are not going to be tripping over it when they wear it. You can step upstairs in it and it's safe. We tried it out. And so, yeah, I would say anyone like 5 feet and more, you don't have to worry about it. And like I said, I'm 5'10" and a half. I wear it. Some of our fit models were 6 feet and more. Some of our models for our photo shoot, I think Renee is like maybe 6 feet, 6'1", and gorgeous. It fits everyone beautifully. That's just, you know, when you take the time to consider the design, these things fall into place, you know?
And so that's awesome to hear. So if you're just tuning in and you're wondering why we're talking about robes, we are here with Miss Marina, the designer behind Peridot Robes, a luxury robe company that is launching up through a size 40. And if you are above a size 40, they will make sure they can accommodate you.
Yes.
And so, you know, kind of, Jen said there's a train on the page.
It is. You know, if Jen Wilder is there's got to be some drama in the design.
Of course.
It was we were the perfect design team. Now, I've been friends with Jen for years. I was introduced to her through Kat Eves, who's an amazing plus size stylist, also a big time activist for sustainable and ethical clothing manufacturing, which was in my heart the entire time I was making these. These are made in Los Angeles. We use really great fabrics. This is 100% cotton, what I'm wearing right here. And if you see, I've been wearing this for months now. There's no pilling. I wash this twice a week. There's nothing there. It's held up gorgeous.
Well, that's beautiful to know, because I mean, oftentimes when we get cotton, we think shrinking, we think pilling, but because of the way that you've used, or the type of weight and the blend of the cotton that you're using.
Yes.
So is it fair to say then that your line is, in addition, being made in LA, is it ethical and sustainable?
We absolutely, we did as much as we could the first time out to do that. Fair wages all around. This is Jen's own sewing room that did this in the old Plus Bus location. The Plus Bus is really where I like awakened as a plus size community member. I was a fat girl without a community for a long time. It's hard to think about now. It's like, how did that work? But I was introduced to the plus community by Adipositivity by Substantia Jones, the photography project. I saw it one night. I was super fascinated by it. I went through the whole thing. I friended her on Facebook, and then it just kind of went from there. Like, I think Substantia and I had like 2 mutuals when we became friends, and now we have like 356 mutuals.
I love it. You know? I'm curious, like you said, you kind of got introduced a couple of years back and you're starting to kind of understand, did having these relationships, as this is specific for y'all business owners out there too,
yeah.
because this is why I'm throwing this to you. So did having these relationships help you along in establishing your business?
In every single way. From everything from like the design aspect and can I actually make a company? I mean, and to, you know, My friends are helping me with like PR questions. They're helping with photo shoots. They're helping me with all that. My friends, I'm so lucky. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm surrounded by really well-connected people. And even though I'm fairly kind of new to the plus scene, like I haven't been in it for ages and ages, I am so well connected. It's been such an incredible blessing for me because, I mean, Kat is brilliant and has like the most generous heart. Jen is, I mean, she's probably the most influential person I've ever met in my life. Do you know what Jen has done during the pandemic? She opened up a new Plus location that is killing it in Highland Park. And it's beautiful. And it's like there, I was in there the other day saying hi to Jen because I just came in from New York and it was packed. It was like, everyone's wearing masks, everyone's wearing masks, but there was like 15 people in the store.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And it really does take a community. And when you find your folks, it's like really important to nurture and build these relationships, especially as a small business owner, as you're launching. So for those of you guys who are curious, like, you know, surround yourself in the community that you want to serve, make relationships, and not so much of like, oh, what can you do for me? But from more of a space of like, are these my people? These are the people who I'm going to be serving. Like, let's build relationships with them.
Yeah.
And so let's back up a little bit because you have decided to launch a business during the Rona.
Yes.
So
Rona decided to pop up in the middle of my business launch is what happened.
Okay. So, but here's the fun thing. Like, you're not the first one we've had on here who's actually launched their business in the middle of the pandemic. But I'm curious to you, like, you know, what that journey was, because, you know, I think when people hear kind of what goes on, the behind the scenes, everyone sees like the pretty finished, polished version, but they don't see a lot of times what it takes to get there. And I'm curious about, you know, what your journey kind of looked like.
Pretty horrific, actually. I was stuck in New York for Rona. I'm a LA native, California girl. LA, you know, is my home and everything like that. I went over to New York to visit my boyfriend in the end of January and was planning kind of a longer visit there because we've been long distance for a long time. And things started getting shut down towards the end of my visit. And I was like, do I want to go back to LA and do this by myself? Or should we really see what this relationship is about? And should I stay here? Because it's going to be like, what, 3 or 4 weeks, right?
Little did we know. We're like, oh yeah, we'll be shut down. We'll be open by summer. Okay, we'll be open by...
Oh my gosh. It'll be open by Easter, right? No.
Great.
No. So I was quarantined in New York while launching the Robe company in Los Angeles. And so fittings took place over Zoom, which was actually for the best because it's safer that way. Fabrics were mailed to me and I checked the fabrics by hand and said, this one, not this one, you know, fabric samples had to get mailed. Everything had to get mailed to me because I was like, I have to see it. I can't filters, lights. I have to be able to actually hold it before I can approve this. So Jen worked with me the whole time. She was amazing. She's really like one of my closest friends, and you know, and she was so patient with this whole thing. I know it just complicated things so much, but yeah, it's hard to believe. It's hard. I think I'm back in Los Angeles now. I just drove 9 days across country in an RV to get back here.
Oh my God, 9 days.
9 days driving.
You know, I believe it because when I moved to Georgia from California, it took us like 5 days to drive, and that was like stopping only because we could sleep.
Yeah.
And then like just, you know, keep going. So I get it.
It was an incredible journey. We blew a tire. Our water heater went out from Chicago to Albuquerque. It was It was so bad. It was so bad. I'm showered now. I'm clean. I'm like recovering from the trauma of that trip.
Now, how long ago did you move back home?
I got in a week and a half ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's been complicated.
Whoa. That is amazing. Okay. So now you're back in California. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And
I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy.
But this is talk about dedication though, right? Because like you kind of like made it work in a way that you could make it work.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
oftentimes
compromised and I'm disabled. And there was no way I was going to catch this stuff. Like, there's no way. I was not going to chance it. I could have jumped on a plane any number of times. I could have done it any number of times until I had the vaccine, until I felt protected. I was not going to chance it because it's not worth it. You're playing with your life,
Right.
I had a horrible respiratory infection. This is part of my disability. I had a horrible respiratory infection about 8 years ago where I coughed so hard I broke 6 ribs. And so I have a very special fear with the virus because I'm like, I don't ever want to not be able to breathe again,
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay.
So yeah,
yeah. I get it. And so, what's even more empowering or more and more inspiring is that like, you figured out ways to make it work through. Yeah. Like you didn't just say, oh, I'll wait, or oh, it's too much happening and just give up. You're like, how can I get innovative? I often say you don't really find out how strong you are until your back is against the wall, right? So like all the things, like you're just like, I don't know what to do. And then you're like, okay, you start getting creative. You start getting innovative. You start becoming extremely resourceful around, what you can lean on to. I love that Jen is in the comment section giving all the details around the sustainability. She was like, we used all end cut bolts, no freight, dead stock fabrics, sourced by me, sewn in a factory I run as a fat woman owned business. I mean, come through, Jen.
You talk about your back up against the wall. Jen had so much faith in this line and in me, and she made this happen. Like I can't. We were, we're talking about doing the press kit right now and doing this for the release. And I was talking to Jen the other day, and I was like, I don't like calling you a production manager. I don't like calling you these titles because you did this with me. Like you were this. Like you did this with me. I mean, I would hand her the keys. She was so vital in getting this done with me. Our fit models were absolutely incredible and patient. They received this huge box with giant robes in them and sent it back to us. I mean, it was incredible, the amount of patience and camaraderie. And I mean, that's what's kind of gotten everybody through the virus. Nobody's alone,
It's community and finding community. And also there's a need for, and in a way of giving and extending and receiving grace, right? Giving grace to people because we don't know what everyone's going through. And sometimes it's just like, girl, just get back to me when you can. Yeah. And other times it's like, remembering and reminding to give yourself grace, right? Yeah. Because it's unprecedented. We're in times where it's like, oh my God, what the hell? What's happening? And so for you, I'm curious, like you talked about you being disabled and finding a need. And you had your own problem. You created a solution. Other people were like, "Yo, this harkens back," and I'm gonna kind of go way back to Janine Biggins, who had created, I think it's plus size bathrobes, where I think it was the towel kind of version of
yes,
where it would actually close. I'm going to have to make sure I connect you with her because she had done this. I want to say when I started TCF, she's just either was having it, she just launched it, it was around. So it's been some time. So I would love to connect you with her.
Absolutely.
And plus she's just an amazing marketing person. So I'll make sure.
Thank you.
I connect you with Miss Janine, she's big sis in this space. But I think about why haven't other brands, why haven't other people really thought about the robe space? And so if you guys are just tuning in and you're wondering what we're talking about, I'm here with the designer Marina, and she is the designer of Peridot Robes, a luxury robe company that's launching this month up through a size 40, y'all. A size 40. And if you happen to be on the other side of 40, hit her up because she will make sure you get your robe.
Everybody gets a robe.
Right.
Unless you're under size 14.
Right. Right. And so let me tell you how I found out about you, sis.
Okay.
I'm on a team meeting, and I'm obviously running late, and I come in and they're talking about this robes, and look at this girl on Instagram. Her robes are amazing. And oh my God, you gotta talk to them, and I'm like, who's this robe person? Who's this robe person? And I'm like, wait, what's going on? Like, how did I miss the robe conversation? And so then I was like, ooh. And then we reached out to make sure that you were here. And then I talked with Kat, and Kat was like, yo, you gotta, like, I'm involved with this. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. So it kind of like
out of nowhere,
degrees of separation. I love it.
Yeah. Well, the reason why is because I didn't want to, I mean, we didn't crowdfund this at all. There was no Kickstarter, GoFundMe for this. It's all completely self-funded. I sold my house to be able to do this line. That's how much I care about it. I was like, I can retire another day. Like I literally sold my house to take the money from that to do the robes. The day escrow closed on my house, I messaged Jen. I was like, we're doing it. It's happening. Get on board. And so, it really, I lost my train of thought.
No, it's okay. You were just talking about the journey. So you said that you had, sold your house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And so are you married now?
No.
Okay.
It's complicated.
That's all right, girl. That's all right. So you have your partner. You've moved across from New York to California in an RV, and that took 9 days. Like, when you think about all these sacrifices, and you also know that you are providing a need, you surrounded yourself with an amazing village to help ensure success and sustainability of your business. You really made some steps. And I think what's interesting and what people need to hear about, like, what goes into this and what goes into building a business, what piece of advice would you give to that person who's listening, who wants to start their business but has had like roadblocks or fear or something like that's like preventing them from doing it?
Well, the fear is not founded in nothing. A lot of clothing companies go under, and they go under for a lot of different reasons. Mismanagement, you're putting your budget in the wrong place. Maybe your product is similar to other things on the market. Some things can't be seen ahead of time. And there's plenty of times that it could have put me under too, but ultimately, the most important moment in this whole process was like when I held the first real samples I held in my hands, and I opened a box because I'm in New York. They were sent from LA, and you're holding one robe in your hands, and you've invested tens of thousands of dollars into having one bathrobe in your hands. Are you completely freaking out, or is it the best moment of your life? It was the best moment of my life. I cried my eyes out. I was so happy with the results. I felt the quality. I knew that for my size, I have never held something that well made, the fabric that beautiful, fitting me that well. I mean, I'm a big fan of so many other lines. I mean, Ultra PDX, I love. Whitney Marrow, oh my gosh, my heart. Rachel Pally for many years, although I would love to see larger sizes go there. And that kind of quality where it's, it's upscale. It's not, like couture. It's not like that level of luxury. These aren't
contemporary.
Yeah.
It's contemporary space.
Yeah. The price point on the robes is like about, I haven't completely said it yet, but it's under $200. Under $200, probably on the higher end of under $200 with free shipping, priority shipping. So you're going to get the robe, a few days after you order it, which is really important to me because I have no patience. But that's what I wanted. I wanted something that was like, think about
it. You wear a robe how many times a day, like a week? Like that sucker needs to be like durable.
Yes, exactly. And like for the bear, because there's 3 robes in the line. There's the peach, which is the dramatic one. This is the Kush, which is like the ultra comfortable. This is brushed French terry. It's so soft. And then there's also the bear, which is a waffle knit robe. And that one is, oh my gosh, the bear is like the surprise hit. I love the bear so much more than I thought I would. I was kind of like, the bear is for someone. It's not how I would wear a robe necessarily. And then I tried it on and was like, I wear this robe all the time. This is my nightly robe because the peach is amazing. It makes an entrance and it makes an exit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also like, it's a very sexy robe. Don't get into how I know, but I put the peach on for the first time. I didn't come up for air for like 12 hours.
I'm gonna have to make sure I get me a peach because like I live for the little bit of drama.
Yeah.
But then also
I could see in a peach.
Like I'm a definitely the robe girl here. Like so I'm always in robes and trying to find like comfort ones, especially too. What's interesting is that you're using cotton. And so as someone who tends to get warm, like having a breathable fabric and having something that still keeps me covered and comfortable, but you know, I'm not feeling like drowning in like a big old blanket.
Yeah. Well, the waffle knit is 100% cotton. This brushed French terry is 100% cotton. The peach is a rayon matte jersey, and it's like an extra weighted one, you know, along the lines of Whitney Marrow or Rachel Pally, where it's a nice thick. It's got a little extra plush to it, which makes it drape beautifully.
Right. So
it wears beautifully.
Mm-hmm. I'm already.
Yeah, and it sits. It's so like when I wear that thing, I'm like cackling. It's ridiculous. It changes my personality.
I love it. And so can you tell everyone where they can follow you, where they can find you, and anything else?
Yeah, well, okay, so we're Peridot Robes on Instagram, Peridot_robes, Peridot. And then peridotrobes.com is our website. There's not a lot there right now because of coronavirus. We were not able to do a photo shoot until like a few weeks ago. So we're still processing those pictures and putting them up on a website, and it's going to be bam, one day it's just going to be there. Maybe this week, maybe next week, maybe.
Right. You just let us know so that we can be staying on the standby.
Yes, but there's a mailing list on the website that you can sign up for updates about the launch. I am very against like hardcore mailing lists where you're getting updates constantly because I get like very cluttered with those things mentally. So I'm not tracking your movements around the internet or anything like that. I've told my whole team, no cookies. We're not doing cookies, you know? So yeah, I want these robes to sell because they're incredible quality. You put one on or you see one. We're going to have a couple pop-ups around the country where you can go and see the robes in person. Plus Brooklyn was my home, my plus bus on the other coast. I love Alexis. She's been so supportive through this whole process as well. And, you know, my plan for selling the robes is you try one on, you're going to want to get one for your mom. You're going to want to get one for your brother. You're going to want to get one for your boyfriend. You're going to get one for your partner. Everyone you know who's got a bigger body, you're going to want a robe for them. We're going to have a robe for them. We're also going to be releasing robes directly to spas, resorts, hotels, cruise ship. All the places we spend our fat dollars that don't accommodate our fat bodies.
There's actually a question in there. They're asking if you do wholesale. And so let me see, where was it? I can't find it now, but Yolanda wanted to know if you do wholesale. So if there's a boutique owner, a store, like, can they do wholesale with you?
Yes, absolutely. We will be doing wholesale, especially for our winter release for the holidays. We're going to be coming out in September with our second release, which has a couple updates to the robes that we have now. And then it also has new robes. We have a more glam robe coming. We have a men's big tall robe that's coming. We've got the hotel robe that's coming. So yeah, I want to be the one-stop shop for all plus size robe needs. If you have a dream robe in mind that you don't see existing anywhere, send me a message. I would love to hear about it. I really would. Because I know what my dream robe is. I'm wearing it.
I love it. I
have it in 3 colors. So yeah.
And Jen said they're only in small batches, only 100 of each style available. So, you know, not a lot of people are going to be able.
For me, that is so many robes in my living room.
Well, I just wanted to, we're already at time and we've gone a little over. Like, thank you so much, Miss
Thank you
Marina.
so much, Marie.
for-
I'm a huge fan of the Curvy Fashionista. You are doing so much for small brands, and we really need it. I mean, this was such a great starting point for Peridot for me because I've been a follower for years. Everyone I know loves you. You've done so much for the plus community, and